she's got pictures tomorrow. She's looking at it. She doesn't know what she's wearing. She's got her smile for her pictures tomorrow.
And then what are you doing?
Hello, Coach. How you doing?
More so than you.
No, yeah, you know that's true, buddy.
Yeah. Do you want it? If like a diver in the row. Yeah. Sure. Think about what you're going to say to the next one. That'll work. That'll work. So good. I wasn't sure. Did that. No. That's why I couldn't get it to come up. I had it muted. You could probably hear me. Yeah, we were just getting used to Zoom at that point. Now I'm pro. I spent way too much time doing that. I haven't done it. Microsoft Teams. Yeah. We're not a lot of users. It's like half of like
That's why I have this job.
Good, how are you?
Good.
How was your trip? Good.
Fun, nice, good weather. It's like pretty chill, pretty relaxed. Back to the real world.
Yeah. Man, you guys look nice. I didn't really recognize that. I didn't see you with your pretty hair.
I guess we should move up to the front.
I guess I was thinking about going over there. I guess. Do we need to start this?
It's already started.
By the Brunner.
Yes, they're so cute. I bet they are. Hi, James. How are you? Good.
How was Florida? Good?
Good. You guys want to start way back?
a lot of good quality in.
I got some, but then I heard my back.
Oh, like what kind of hurt?
It's from like weights I was lifting wrong.
Where does it come from?
I'm not really sure.
Oh.
It'll be here.
But you're gonna be a manager right now.
Yeah, I am.
Played a couple times.
They have their first match tomorrow, so I'll Grace taught me how to spike with his hair today.
Yeah, Spike, was it Tommy? He just couldn't get out of the house fast enough.
Yeah.
Did you have practice?
Should have done that.
Well, it's 6:30 now.
Because you can't see.
Especially the eggs.
Let's see what we can
I bet theirs are like so white.
What was like sunshine?
Oh, that's fun. Well,
He's got
Karen's all the way over there. Grace. Well, I have to come in at 7.
did you visit?
Yeah, I did. I don't even know what door I was going to. It's like none of the doors were open. I did. He said he'll try to find
these aren't supposed to be taken seriously.
So that's exactly right. You're right by the camera, so you can't talk. Yeah, because I just said I would say, so give me some.
Real kind of kids and another kid. Dude, I thought him today, like, purple, right? You said for lady?
Katie, you got the pen?
Yeah, oh, Danny, he's in the shop. Who was covering Greece?
So you go
Well, you know, I looked at you and I saw, but if I let go, guess what I would say? You know, you're like,
You're right where he was the house there too. That's been a bad crash.
Oh, really good view. Oh, what's You said that you were in the golf.
I didn't know you were wearing your tie. That's why I didn't want to.
I'm like, oh, seriously? Because I have your sister and I've got your brother to pick up. I got a text and she's like, I need to go get my like, he doesn't oh, is that James thing? And I'm like, I don't know.
I thought you weren't wearing the tie, so I didn't wear the tie because I didn't want to overdo it.
No, Alex said he was wearing something like me. I was like, okay, so don't wear a tie. Shirts up the same tie. Yeah, I know. I saw that.
Oh, yeah. Unless you want to be on the should be saying somebody's name. I know. Probably Bell is all.
Where's the others?
Not a problem, but sometimes when I video, then I watch it back and I'm like, that didn't sound very nice. Or the way I'm I just want to text you because he's driving.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. I appreciate everybody being here. A year ago, we did this by virtual, and it wasn't nearly as fulfilling. I always enjoy having the opportunity to recognize our athletes, talk about our program, and celebrate our successes and look to the future. And it's nice to have a captive audience like this to do it. We don't get that opportunity all the time. So we appreciate you being here. We'll try and keep moving, not take too much of your time, but typically I guess we tend to be the longest of these programs. We do have two sports, but in the athletic department, I guess we're known as being the longest one for this. I'd like to start just with a little bit of overview of the season, some of the challenges, some of the successes. We'll talk more specifically about our achievements after a bit. But obviously we started the season in a very different circumstance. In the COVID era, with different training parameters, different school parameters, and faced challenges different than what we've ever had before in terms of what the way we could approach the season. One of the things we know about our athletes in our sport and in our program is that they don't run away from a challenge. They're willing to accept the landscape as it exists and do the best of what we have. And really proud of our athletes, our program, and how they were able to really persevere through good times and tough times all season, through people who were quarantined out. Some people more than once quarantined out. People who lost family members and still were active parts of the team. People who really just struggled with the academic side of being all virtual for a good part of the school year. In spite of those challenges, I think we really rose up to face them and to achieve success. We learned a lot. I think we learned a lot about what's important. We tended in the past to just assume A follows B follows A, C follows B. It's always that way. That's the way it's always been. That's the way it'll always be. And we were sort of thrown into a tailspin, I guess, last March. And as a coaching staff, the number of different plans we had to start in April, to start in May, we ended up being able to start back in the water in May. But just the number of plans we had in terms of meets and where we could compete kept changing on a daily basis. And I think one of the lessons we learned, I hope everybody learned, was to appreciate what we do have. It's easy in the heat of the battle, in the dark days of January, when everybody's tired, everybody's struggling to make it to the next practice through the week, to not appreciate the opportunities we have. The opportunities to be on a team where people care about each other, the opportunities to be on a team where we know success is a part of what we do, the opportunities to compete at the highest level. And we took those opportunities for granted at periods of time in the past. I think this year certainly brought that into focus, that we need to appreciate the opportunity we do have. A couple of years ago, as a coaching staff, we talked about what our core values are. What should a Concord high school swimmer or diver embody? And our principal here uses PRIDE, the acronym PRIDE, for 5 different core values that she considers important to academic success. And we decided to take those same letters, the word pride, and build our core values around that. And it starts in the middle. The very center of pride is I, and I in our core values is integrity. The idea that we do things right, even when people aren't watching. That we aspire and intend and expect to live a life of integrity. With regard to sport, but with regard to school, with regard to our personal conduct. Integrity is at the center of it. And if we know that everyone else in our program, coaches, athletes, parents, administrators, are all moving from that center of integrity, we know we can trust each other in the way we have to be successful. So integrity at the center of pride. At the front and the end are two words that are really important to describe what we want our program to look like. Positivity and enthusiasm. We live in a society where it's not always cool, especially as a high school, teenager, but even young adult, a little bit older, to express a positive view about what you're doing. It's easy to be cynical. It's easy to say this sucks, or this is not, to just play it as if it doesn't matter. But when we live in an environment like that, no one can succeed to the same level of success that we can when we surround ourselves with positivity. For some people, that takes practice. Some people, that takes a real focus on turning their thoughts positive on a daily basis, because we all face that challenge of negativity on a certain day or certain time. But positivity is start. And enthusiasm, which is closely related to positivity, but the idea that not only are we going to be positive in our personal sense, but we're going to be enthusiastic and spread that positivity amongst our team, amongst our whole program. So integrity in the middle, positivity and enthusiasm describing the nature of our program at the front and at the beginning and the end. The other two letters deal with the times that are tougher. Resilience and determination. Resilience is how we react when things don't go quite the way we had hoped or the way we expected. And in our program, we challenge our athletes to set goals that stretch them to the very limit. We want athletes to aspire to achieve at the highest level they're capable of, to scratch the very farthest realm of what their potential can take them. And sometimes we fall short of those goals, or sometimes we feel like we're not quite on track. So we need to have the resilience to respond to those times when we feel like we're not quite on track. Determination, very closely related. The idea that determination, I guess, is a little more forward-looking. I'm not on track, or I might be on track, but what does my behavior, what does my attitude, what does my plan need to look like tomorrow, this week, this month, this season to achieve the goals I have? With our athletes, we talk about those values, I guess more than occasionally. And obviously we're not always perfect. Obviously there's points in time when we need to be better. It's always a continual process. But I think we can safely say that this year's team embodies those values, those core values, Concord pride, to the greatest extent we ever have. And that's a great thing. We're really proud of our athletes. Obviously, we're proud of the material successes, trophies, all of those things. But I think most importantly, we're proud of the kind of young men and young women we're able to work with on a daily basis, who live up to those values and work hard to ensure that we have a program that sustains those values. All right, I think our first order of business is to recognize our athletes who were chosen to be on the all-conference team. Those athletes typically would be recognized in front of all of the winter sports when we meet with UPAC. It's a little different this year since we're meeting individually, so we're just doing just our own. It always, as a pretty competitive person, I guess, I always relish the fact that when we recognize all conference athletes, we typically have more than all of the other winter sports combined. Maybe all more than. So that's a good thing. We should aspire to be the best. But we're going to let Coach present this.
Hello? All right, first, real quick with these. A lot of people think of swimming as being an individual sport, and this really does recognize an individual achievement, but these swimmers could not get to where they are without their teammates having those shared values, being positive, enthusiastic, resilient, and having determination with integrity towards those goals. So first we'll start with the women. First we have Grace Brennaman. Next, Audrey Lance. Next, Ella Lance. Tori Postauer. Bella Sponseller. Kate Stauffer. Karen Stauffer. Sophia Specimen. Madison Weber. And these are the women's all-conference for 2021. All right, for the men, first up, Tommy Brunner. Ethan Davies. Ethan Smith. Caleb McDonald. And Braden Styles. And these are the 2020 men's all-conference. There you go.
All right. Our next category of achievement that we want to recognize centers around academics. And the National High School Swim Coaches Association each year recognizes academic All-Americans. We have 4 academic All-Americans this year. To qualify, you have to have a GPA of 3.75 or higher and be a senior. So we have 4 women who qualified as academic All-Americans. I'd like them to come forward. Brunner. Marissa Pro. And Kate Stopper. All right. Great achievements. All of them have very high GPAs. As a team, the National High School Coaches Association also recognizes scholar teams. So we submit our varsity lineup, our varsity teams, overall GPA. They max out at 4.0, or we actually be way higher. But both of our teams qualify as national scholar teams. Typically, there's only maybe 8 or 10 teams in Indiana male, 8 or 10 teams of female that qualify for scholar team. This year, our women are a silver scholar team with a team GPA of 3.738, with 6 athletes over 4.0 GPA. And our men are also a silver team. It's the highest we've been in about 10 years for the men's program, with a overall team GPA of 3.631 and 4 athletes over 4.0. So congratulations, those are important goals for our team. And we're pretty close. It's 3.75 to qualify as a gold team. That should be our goal for next year. And so let's get both teams to that level. Thank you. All right, I'm going to just address our team achievements. It won't take too long, but address some of the accomplishments we had as a team, and then we'll start to do some of our individual awards. As a team, our women's dual meet record was 6-1. Our men's dual meet record was 7-1. Our men have the longest NLC winning streak in Concord High School athletic history going, and hopefully we can keep that extending farther into the future. Great dual meet seasons. Our women finished second in the conference in a very close meet, and our men finished first for the 3rd year in a row in the NLC. Both teams won the sectional championships, and those were great achievements. Our women scored the most points we've ever scored at a sectional meet, 489. Our state meet performances, we had one diving regional qualifier in both women and in men, and we'll be addressing those here shortly. We had our women finished 13th at state, and at the time, I'll be just that honest, we had hoped to be a top 10 team. That was our goal. We felt like we were capable of being that. Fell a little short of that goal, but in retrospect, and it wasn't an inappropriate goal, and I think it's a goal we can chase again next year, maybe even higher than top 10. In retrospect, when I look back, it was the first time we've had all 3 relays swim on Saturday at state meet. A lot of great swims, a lot of console swims. If we can move those relays up into the top 8, get a few more swims at state, and just be a little better prepared to race well at state. We can certainly improve that finish. Our women finished 13th. We knew our men were going to have a tougher year in terms of state meet finish. We just don't have any athletes who had a lot of experience at that level. No one who had swam an individual event previously at the state meet. And they came off a great sectional meet, competed well, and put ourselves in a position, we didn't get shut out. That was sort of the goal, I guess. We finished 39th, did score, and I think next year we'll be ready to really move up and not just be there, but to compete with the best. The Indiana High School State Meet, traditionally, perennially, is the fastest high school state meet in the nation. There may be states where first place finishers are faster, or a few events are faster, but there's no other state that matches our level of the some athletes who achieved the All-American consideration time. We won't know officially until June or July whether they've made that All-American list. It's just the top 100 performances in the nation that achieved All-American status. But Grace Brennaman qualified consideration times in the 50 and 100 freestyle, and both our 200 and 400 freestyle relays for the women have reached the consideration times for All-American. So we hope that we get at least one of those relays. I think one of them has a real good shot. I think Grace's swims have a pretty good shot to make that All-American status. And we've only had one relay in the history of time I've been here that has actually achieved All-American status. So we're pretty excited about that and look forward to that continuing to move forward. One of the things we talk about with our athletes pretty often, it's really easy and it's just natural, I guess, to get fired up and to have great performances at our sectional meets. And when I started here at Concord, more than a couple years ago, the sectional was always the focus. And we've gone through periods of time where we've had athletes that continue to keep the sectional meet as the focus. And the sectional meet's a great meet, don't get me wrong, it's exciting. It's great to race. Next year, hopefully, we'll be back to a more normal circumstance with stands full and parading athletes out. Our athletes love to race in front of a big crowd and in front of their friends and relatives and family, teammates. And it's always really easy to get ourselves motivated to be great at sectionals. We need to continue to really focus on sectionals and state, all in one breath, so that it becomes just as important to us that we're competitive at the state meet. Because our sectional, traditionally, if we're good enough to win our sectional, we should be good enough to be competitive at the state meet. So that's a work in progress. That's something we'll continue to focus on. But we're going to take a moment and recognize all of our state meet qualifiers and performances, and I think Coach Nicole is going to do that for us. Thank you.
So we've got a number of certificates, and we have both participant certificates and then also top 16 certificates as well as some ribbons. So if you come up here, maybe it's best to just stay up here for a bit so we can get everything handed out to you. We'll start with the women first. Grace Brennaman. Audrey Lance. Elle Lance. Tori Kostauer. Riley Robinson. Bella Sponsor. Kieran Sovereign. Sophia Specimen. All right, along with these ladies up here, we have top 16 awards, meaning they placed top 16 in the events they participated in. Grace Brennaman. Audrey Lance. Elle Lance, you took the relays here. Tori Kostauer. Riley Robinson. Kieran Sovereign. And Sophia. They also have some ribbons here. Our 200 meter relay was 16th. So that would be Elle Lance, Tori Kostauer, Sophia Specimen, and Audrey Lance. Kieran Stopper was 16th in the 200 freestyle. Riley Robinson was 14th in 100 diving. Kieran Stopper was 11th in 500 free. And then our 200 free relay was 14th, which is Grace Brennaman, Audrey Lance, Bella Sonseller, and Kieran Stopper. And then our 400 free relay was 10th, which is Kieran Stopper, Audrey Lance, Grace Brennaman, and Ella Lance. Grace also is top lead in 2 events and received her medals at the meet, so she is 5th in 50 free and 7th in 100 free. Congratulations. All right, for the men, Derrick Angel, Brunner, Ethan Davies, Braden Styles, Ethan Smith, and Zimmerman. Tommy was top 16 in the 500 free, he was 11.
All right, and then in terms of other individual achievements that we'll recognize, and you don't necessarily have to come up. You're gonna you've seen them before, and they're going to get their names on the record board. So we established a number of new school records this year. Grace Brennaman in the 50 and the 100 freestyle. Sophia Specimen in the 100 butterfly. And all three of our relays established new school records. The women's 200 medley relay broke the school record by about half a second. Our women's 200 free relay broke the school record by a little more than half a second. And the women's 400 freestyle relay broke the school record by about 3 seconds, more than 3 seconds actually. So those relays, Coach Nicole mentioned earlier, but the 200 medley relay that set a school record was Ella Lance, Tori Sophia Specimen, and Audrey Lance. 200 free relay was, right? Here's Grace Brennaman, Audrey Lance, Bella Sonseller, Kieran Stopper, and the 400 free relay, again, Kieran Stopper, Audrey Lance, Grace Brennaman, Ella Lance. On the men's side, we did set one new school record, and that was Tommy Brunner, who broke the 500 freestyle school record. I do have we do have updated top 20 lists, all-time performances in each event, as well as class records, record by freshman, sophomore, junior, senior classes. And we'll be posting those on the Concord Swim Club website under the high school page, and I would imagine Mr. Freeheim may post those as well. So congratulations on those achievements. A great year in terms of individual achievements, and a great year in terms of team achievements. What I'd like to do next is go ahead and start recognizing our athletes by class. I'll talk a little bit about each person. We'll have all of them come up at once. The dive coaches, I think, are going to talk about the divers, because they're certainly better prepared to do that. So if we could start out with having the freshman women come on up to the front. Does that make you self-conscious? That's a good thing. You're in the center stage. Megan had a great season for us. Did a great job. She's a very versatile athlete. Could be competing in a lot of different events. She ended up being a sectional finalist with a 7th place in the backstroke and a 9th place in the IM. Did a great job all season. She's a joy coach, hard worker, and has a great personality. We love coaching her. Thank you, Megan. And if we could have our freshman men come up. Yeah. We actually do have this on our Concord Swimming YouTube channel. If you want to go back and watch later or show grandparents or anyone. We have a few people who couldn't be here who were watching it. So, we'll start with Drew Krause. Drew is going to be one of the great leaders of Concord Swimming. I have no doubt about that. He's a great personality. We love coaching him. He's a hard worker. He has a quiet intensity about the way he goes about doing things, and we're really proud of the achievements, the improvements he had. He was a sectional finalist in the 100 butterfly this year. Alex Navarro. Alex is a great athlete, also a sectional finalist for us this year in the breaststroke. Very hard worker, really learned a lot in terms of really how to train and how to get better, and did great work in the pool all year and saw those results that work pay off with great results. And Brady Banter. Brady really put it together. I think, he might have even been a little frustrated through the middle of the season, but had a great sectional meet with great improvement. Ended up being 13th in the 200 IM and 14th in the 100 backstroke. So again, scoring important points for our team. Great freshman class. Braden Messenger had a baseball game tonight that was postponed and got rescheduled to tonight. We were trying to do it so no one would miss, but look forward to great things from Braden as well, who was a sectional finalist in 2 events. So our freshmen men, thank you. All right, let's have our sophomore ladies come on up. All right. We're going to start with Elizabeth Jobin. The growth we've seen in Elizabeth's approach to practice on a day-to-day basis is really outstanding. We sometimes had to use the carrot and sometimes the stick to keep her moving in prior seasons. This season it wasn't like that. She really did the job she was expected to do on a daily basis. She was able to qualify for the Speedo sectional meet at the big club meet at the end of the season, and had great performances there. She has a future, we think, in para swimming that could be really impactful. We've had one athlete who made a Paralympic team. We think she's got the potential to really excel nationally and internationally at the para level. So we're really proud of her progress. Elizabeth Jobin. Next is Sydney Keith. Sydney is a very hard worker, and our biggest struggle with Sydney is to get her to believe in herself as much as we believe in Sydney. We believe in Sydney. We believe she's got the potential to really be a great athlete and to continue to show the progress she's shown. And I think at the end of the season, we really started to see that. She had the opportunity to compete at the divisional meet, had a great meet, swam fast, had a lot of best times. We're very proud of the improvement we've seen there, and look forward to that improvement to continue. I think next is Audrey Lance. Audrey had a great season when you put it in the perspective of a serious knee surgery in September. At the time, we weren't sure she'd be able to swim at all. And then it was, well, she'll probably be able to swim near the end of the season, and by January, she's competing at a very high level. And did a great job. We made the choice to have Audrey swim all 3 relays at sectionals and state. Just felt like that was the best for our team and probably the best for her. And she embraced that. Some athletes don't always relish that. They want the opportunity to have 2 individual events. Audrey really put the team first, did what we needed, and performed well for us in sectional and state on those relays. Audrey, Ella. I'm going right on my list. Ella is just a great athlete, a great underwater kicker, has just so many skills that translate well to our sport, and she's a tough athlete. We saw a lot of improvement there. She really did the job we needed on relays, where she's one of the fastest relay lead-off for the medley relay. She had a great 100 free. Maybe fell a little short of what she wanted to do in the backstroke this season, but did a great job for us all year and competed at a very high level, and we expect to see her continue that. So, Ella. I think Riley's next. Riley's next.
appreciate Zoe. She worked hard. She came back. She battled. We had fun. These girls were trying to be socially distanced, which was a challenge because they rode together in the car half the time. But we worked on them. We had 3 boards so we could spread them out. And I just really appreciate these young ladies. I won't keep it going, so let's go on to the next class. Thank you, ladies.
There we go. So we'll go back to a few swimmers remaining. Bella Sponseller couldn't be here tonight, but Bella really demonstrated some great swimming for us, had some great performances in the season. Probably most, I don't know if it's surprising, but probably surprising to others. She really came through and was able to earn a spot on our 200 free relay and swam great there. Next would be Sophia Specimen. Sophia had a great season as well. Ended up breaking her own school record in the 100 fly, state qualifier, sectional champion, state qualifier. And really, our challenge, I don't know if it's a challenge, but our goal, I guess, with Sophia is to continue to have her seat bigger and better. And what lays beyond just being a school record holder or sectional champion? What's the next step and what are we after next? And I think she's starting to recognize that growth that she's capable of. Finally, Madison Weber. Madison had a great season for us. We had big drops across the board. Sectional finalists in both the 50 free and 100 free played a big role for us on the team. And really saw a lot more confidence from Madison, both in training this season as well as in racing, and did a great job for us. So thank you, ladies. Thank you, everybody. All right, if we could have our sophomore men, which is 2, 3, 4. All right. We'll start with Tommy Brunner. We've seen Tommy up here a couple times already. Had a great season. Broke a school record that's been in existence or set 12 years ago. So we were happy to see that. Really, probably the most notable thing in Tommy's past year was his ability to really spread out to new events and be competitive and really have success in other events beyond just distance freestyle events. And nothing wrong with being great at distance freestyle, I'm all for that. But he really started to become a great IMer, a great backstroker, showing us he has a really wider skill set in that regard. He's going to be competing in Open Water Nationals this weekend. We're excited for that and look forward to great things coming from Tommy. Caleb McDonald. As you saw earlier, Caleb made all conference this year. Performed well for us through the season. Great racer. I know he wanted to be a little faster at sectionals than he was, but really came through a week later and made the senior state cut in the mile. Really, really great potential from Caleb. I'm not sure I even realized what he was capable of long run. And he's a hard worker, and we just got to sort of harness that work and that energy towards getting better on a daily basis. And we think there's going to be great things ahead for Caleb. Braden Styles is next, and Braden is a great leader for us. He sets a great example on a daily basis, not just attendance and not just effort, but in attitude. Really proud of what he's able to do in that regard. He's a great athlete, one of the fastest in a number of events And finally, Austin Zimmerman. We had a lot of athletes who could recognize as the most improved this year. Austin had a great season, tremendous drops, ended up earning spots on 2 of our relays that qualified for state, a sectional finalist himself. And I think really notable, and the memory for me from Austin this year, he didn't have a great sectional prelim. I mean, I guess you'd say he had a lousy sectional prelim. And that happens. That happens. We're not machines. We can't just turn a switch and operate, at peak performance every day. So we have days when we're just not as good for whatever reason. Sometimes it's partly nerves and mental. Sometimes it's just physical. Sometimes it's a combination. And it would have been very easy to not perform well on Saturday at finals, but he dominated the heats, the console heats, in his individual events, and swam like a beast on the relays. Really did the job for us. So that, demonstrated that kind of resilience and determination we're after. Thank you, man. Thank you. All right, let's have the junior women come on up. All right, not a huge class, but a mighty class. Really proud of what the impact that they've had and will continue to have on our program. Obviously, they had a great impact competitively in terms of school records and state qualifying and relays and all of those things they've done that you've heard about. Tremendous impact in that regard. But I think just as importantly, they've had a huge impact on the culture of our program. And I mentioned earlier, we've had a period of time where our women struggled to be great at state, but this class, this group is the one that's starting to change that back to the way it should be, where our best performances these short course of the year are at the high school state. So we're really proud of the way they've been able to lead us that way. First is Grace Brennaman. Grace, we know she's a great athlete. She's also a great student. She's verbally committed to Notre Dame. She's going to have a successful career, whatever she chooses to do, because she has a lot of determination to be the best and to live to her full potential. And that's what we appreciate and love about her. She's a great, coachable athlete. You just couldn't ask for more. And we're really proud of the performances she had. A great state meet this year, and we look forward to what she can do in the next year for us. Thank you, Grace. Next is Tori Postauer. And Tori had a great state meet. We always think that Tori is a breaststroker, and she is, and she was a great breaststroker for us on the medley relay, and had a great 100 breaststroke at the sectional meet. Really performed, I think, maybe, I'm sure better than some people thought she would, but to the level we thought she was capable of. But really memorable to me was how much she improved in the IM and looked like a different person out there, sort of let it all fall together. Things we had worked on for a year, maybe more, so it all happened at that meet, and we were really proud to see that. So a great season from Tori Wilson. And then Kieran Stauffer. Kieran is perennially one of the most positive people we have the opportunity to deal with on a daily basis. And it should be, and I think in a lot of ways it's infectious to our whole team. She, infectious in a good way, probably not the best airline we this year. But she, her positive attitude and her willingness to really see the bright bright side day in, day out is refreshing, and it makes the day go faster and practice be more memorable. So we're really proud of what she's done. She had a great sectional meet, won 2 races that I'm not sure how many people here felt like she could win. But there were at least 2 or 3 people who felt like she could win those races. And I guess that's the 2 or 3 who matter. And she let that happen, and we're really proud of her performances. She had a great state meet scored for us there. We think she's got even better things ahead next year. So, here in Stockton. Thank you, ladies. All right, let's have our junior men come on. I guess we knew going way back that we sort of had a hole in our program in terms of the class that would be seniors this year. We knew we weren't going to have a lot, and as it turned out, we didn't have any this year, male seniors athletes. So this class really was forced, probably before, I don't know about ready, because I think they did a good job, they clearly were ready, but maybe before they expected to be responsible to lead our program. And they followed in the steps of some really, really, really quality leaders that our men's team has had the opportunity to have, going back the past 10 years. Some of the best young men in terms of leadership that I've ever had the opportunity to work with in 35 years of coaching. So they had big shoes to fill in terms of the leadership role. And I think they really stepped up to that challenge. It's always a learning experience, but we feel like they're going to lead us to really being not just a competitive team, not just the best team, not just a dominant team at the conference level and the sectional level, but returning to being a competitive team at the state level next year. And I think it's largely because of their intensity and their desire to achieve at that level. First is Derrick Angel. Derrick really put it together at the sectional meet, had a great sectional meet, and we're really proud of the swims he had there. And he struggled through the season. He struggled at times to have confidence, I think, in his racing, but we knew from watching him train at as high a level as any athlete we have in the pool, that it was there. And it just had needed the opportunity to happen. And fortunately, it happened at the right time. We're really proud of the performances he had at sectionals, where he was a sectional finalist in both his events and a great performer on our relays. And we think it's something we can build on and keep moving forward from that point. I'm just going to quickly mention Sam Carnell. He's not here. Sam had back surgery, really pretty serious back surgery for someone his age. He intends to be back in the pool this week or next, and we're excited for having him back. It was really unfortunate. He was really starting to hit his stride as we in training, and then had some setbacks there to really have to be out of the water for the past almost 6 months now. Next is Ethan Davies. Ethan's an athlete, and we talk a lot about, I guess, with the junior high team or the coaching staff, like, who's the next Ethan Davies? Ethan came out of our junior high program with really, obviously we knew he had some talent, but really sort of raw in terms of skills. But he's determined, and he's coachable, and he is somebody who's just shown tremendous improvement at a very fast level. His improvement curve sort of bends is just beyond belief sometimes. He had a great season for us. I think third in 2 events of sectionals. Is that right? Second, third? Second of all, I'm sorry. That's great. Great performances in sectionals. Great swimming for us, and I think we can look for him to be somebody who can help lead us, both competitively and leadership-wise, to performances at the state level next year. Next is Ben Raymer. Ben took a little while to get going this season. It wasn't as fast as he wanted it to be at the beginning of the year, but day by day he started to slowly creep up and get better and better. And what sort of sticks in my mind, there was a day we were lining up by intervals, so people who can train at the fastest interval possible were in one lane. And that's not a lane he had been training in. Not a group he had even been close to training in. And he started to line up over there, and I think I said to him and asked the interpreter, tell me he doesn't have to go there. That's sort of a big jump from what he's been doing. And he just sort of shook his head and hopped in that lane and fought to compete with those athletes in practice. And it sort of all came together then. That was, probably mid-January, that a month from now he's going to be really, really good. And he certainly lived up to that. His performances at sectionals will be remembered. I mean, he was just a tremendous swim in the 500 freestyle where he finished second. Fourth, maybe, in breaststroke, something like that. Did a great job with both of those. And, swam just out of his mind fast. And that's the way that he's supposed to be. And he's another athlete we think could really help us achieve at the next level. So, Ben Raymer. And then
last year this was Little League. He grew a little bit, which diving changes the center of gravity and all that good stuff. So he was battling a lot because it really changed the way you somersault and twist. The young man worked hard, so I can't call him Little E anymore. He helped other divers, didn't mind pitching in, would say something that maybe Dave or I didn't catch. I just tried this. And they would listen to a peer. I had a couple of, at least one older guy, middle-aged guy. But Ethan was so good at that. He was, his best dive got 24 points. That's 8, 8, 8. And he did that twice. He did it on a reverse dive. And then he did it on an optional against gravity on his double pipe. So 3/8 on that. That was awesome. His high score for 6 dives was 274. His highest score for 11 was at Mishawaka, which he got first place and brought home the trophy. Riley was first at Mishawaka also. Sorry, Riley. He got first in the NLC. He was devastated with a second in the sectional. Correct. Bothered him a little bit. He got 4th in the regionals, top 8, made it to state, so he made his way down there. What did he get at state? 22nd. They cut to 20. So he was a little heartbroken. Knowing Ethan, he will work very hard to work his way on that podium next year. Thank you, Ethan.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. All right, we're going to finish with our female seniors. I'm going to have you come up one at a time, ladies. I like to do that. That way I can have more time to talk about each of you. And it's always a challenge for me to keep my composure here when we talk about young men and young women who have been integral parts of our program, not just for 4 years, but sometimes athletes we coach for 8 or 10 or 12 years. And a few of those are like that. Others are people who have made a huge impact in a shorter time. And we're really proud of our senior class at just a variety of levels. primarily on the quality people they are, their personal integrity, and their ability to just really impact our program culturally. First is Belle Brunner. Belle, you want to come on up? This is Belle's first year in our program. She transferred from Wallace C. We're really glad to have the Brunners here. Swimming's not her primary sport. You know, she's a golfer. She's going to golf at Valpo. We're really proud of that. But you would not have known during the season, at any point in time, any day of the week, that swimming was not her primary sport. If you were supposed to be there, she was there. If you had the choice to be there, she was there. She did it the right way. She did it the right way daily. And we're really proud of the performance that she had, the improvement she showed, and really just the quality individual she is. Belle Brunner. All right. Next is Madison Weber. I'm going to let you talk about that. Jeez.
It's always a pleasure to talk about the big girls on our team. She is taller. She is. Oh, I think social distance, sorry. Anyway, Miss Maddie is the first one at Concord that Dave and I have been able to be with for 4 years. And she has been a pleasure, sometimes in Dave's eyes, a challenge, but always a pleasure in mine. He's a bad cop. She is awesome. Her high scoring dive is 6.5, and that was on the backside, and she did it in the sectionals and the Mishawaka. Her high scoring dive is 6-mile dive meet, 211 against Goshen. 11 dive meet was 271 against Mishawaka. She was 7th in the sectionals, 4th in NLCs, and I really enjoyed this young lady. As a freshman, she would whip anybody's butt and look bad crossways. We worked hard on that. She became a nice young lady, pleasantly surprised, fun to be around. Awesome. I really enjoy how you've grown. She really would have kicked somebody's butt at the cross. Bad cops.
Kendall's another athlete who just does it the way you're supposed to do it on a daily basis. She doesn't argue, she doesn't complain. He's not up here, I don't know. But no, she's just always has a great attitude in the pool, always works hard, really helps lead the lanes she's in and the athletes she's training with, and is a great swimmer. And in a team where to be competitive, you know, you have to be a state level athlete to make our sectional roster, essentially. So she always fought against that, but never really showed that she was discouraged by it or anything. Always performed at her very best, and we're really proud of the performances she had. But like I said, really proud of who she is as an individual. She's a great student, and really was a great leader in our program. Hello, Crouch. I didn't see, is Delilah here? Okay, Delilah's next. Come on up, girl.
Another big girl. Maddie feels tall next to Delilah. First year swimmer, came out here as a senior. Whoever does that? Diving is a tough sport, hard to pick up. She did so well. She said, well, I thought about coming out last year. I wish she would have. The young lady is fun to be around. She's an awesome cheerleader, both for Concord and the divers. She works really hard. She was great with few dives, correct? Her high scoring dive was a reverse somersault, which was she was afraid of that almost more than anything. 6'6", 6'5", and her high 6'5" meet was against Goshen with a 165.5, which was awesome. Really appreciate this young lady. Glad she came out as a senior. Wish she'd have been out here earlier. She probably heard I was here and was afraid.
All right, Carnell Lance is next. As a coach, you always want what's best for the team and what is going to help us be the best team we possibly can be. But there's times when you just want or you hope that what's best for the team works out. And it did this year, and that Carly was able to compete at the sectional meet and did a great job for us. And it's something I really wanted to see. I had confidence she would be swimming very well in that situation, and she rose up to that challenge and did a great job. We were so proud of her performances there. And it really started a year before that, where she didn't have an opportunity as a junior to swim in the sectional meet in an individual event, but stuck through and had a great end-of-season club meet, a divisional meet, where she had breakthrough performances. And I think it led to the kind of confidence builder and the kind of maybe opportunity, the ability to recognize that opportunity did exist. So when she was able to make our sectional team and then achieve at a very high level at the sectional meet, it was a great feeling. We're very proud of it. And I think it's something that we should keep in mind. Those opportunities can make themselves possible. We just got to believe in that. Carly Lewis. Marissa Pro. Marissa is a funny girl. Every day in practice, Marissa is a funny girl. And we need that. Like, everybody can't be the super intense, like, get after it. We need the person who can keep things while still focused. A little more relaxed and a little more fun. And Marissa's certainly that person. Marissa had a great season, swam well for us, competed well in the fly and the 500 free at sectional, scored a lot of points, did a great job for us. She's a great student who made that choice to graduate a year early, and we think she's going to do great things in whatever she sets her mind to. So we're very proud of her performances and the impact she's had on our program the past 3 years. Marissa Pro. And one more, Kate Stockton. In my mind, performance is always important. Like, what you can do and contribute to the team is obviously important, and we want athletes who aspire to do the most they can. But I also believe, and I think we've seen in our program, and I hope we can always continue to develop great leaders. And as I mentioned a few minutes ago, our men's team has had a tradition of great leadership over the past 10 or 12 years, with really hardly any exceptions. I'll be honest, over the past 10 or 12 years, the leadership on the women's side has not always been consistently excellent. And not that anybody was a bad person, we just never really clicked consistently year after year after year in that regard. Kate was a great leader for this program and did a lot to really ensure our success. And you can't always score that in terms of points scored, but it certainly has an impact. And her impact in leading the team this year was tremendous. And I think a lot of our successes she played a key role in, both competitively and as a leader. So we're really proud of her leadership. She's a great student, and is going to continue her career at Rose Coleman as a swimmer and a student. I'm sure a student at a very high level. So Kate Stauffer, very and I think that covers it. Thank you, ladies. All right. I need one other. All right, our athletes vote on end-of-season awards. And I'm always the last one to turn it in. Our athletic department secretary, who I love, and she's very efficient. It's always after me, when is that going to be done? When is that going to be done? And I just feel like we need some time to sort of decompress after a season, put things in perspective, and let our athletes have the opportunity to really make the best choices. And I always challenge them to make this not about personalities or friendships, but really to make it about who really deserves and earns those awards. And I think you did a great job in recognizing deserving athletes. In many cases, it's not easy. There's multiple athletes who would be great representatives of each award. We're going to start with Honorary Captain, or the Captain's Awards. The teams vote and recognize the leaders of the team. So for the women's team, they voted for 2 honorary captains, and those captains were Kate Stauffer and Carly Lance. And for the men's team, they voted to recognize Ethan Davies as our captain. All right. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for being a part of our program. Thanks. Our next award is called All Around. This has been here since I've been here. It's been an award we've given since before I was here. And the intent is to recognize athletes who have a lot of versatility, who can compete in a variety of events at a very high level, who can maybe swim multiple relay events, and really are able to contribute in a lot of different ways to the team. And sort of cool this year for our women's team, recognized for the All-Around Award are Audrey and Ella Lance. And our men's team, it was actually almost a unanimous vote. And just in the nick of time to receive his award here for the all-around is Braden Messenger. All right, thank you guys. Our next award is Most Improved. And I always preface our voting with the athletes and ask them to consider improvement relative to each individual. A brand new swimmer might just display tremendous improvement because they've never trained or been a part of the swim team before. An experienced swimmer who really did everything and demonstrated tremendous improvement, maybe not the same exact number of seconds dropped, but in a percentage sense, demonstrating great improvement might be worthy of that recognition as well. And again, very clear votes from both teams in terms of most improved. On the women's side, our women chose to recognize Brunner as their most improved. And on the men's side, the most improved athlete for the year is Drew Krause. Congratulations, thank you. Our next award is Most Valuable. Again, pretty clear votes from our team. Both are athletes who contributed at the very highest level at sectionals and at state, but I think contribute to our program day in, day out by their work ethic, their desire to get better, and really just doing everything they can to reach their potential. Our most valuable female athlete for the season was Brennaman. And our most valuable male athlete, Brunner. All right, thank you, most valuable. Our final award is the Mental Attitude Award, and I always leave this one for last because in my mind it is the most important award we give. We seek to recognize athletes who demonstrate and live the way a Concord swimmer should live. They succeed academically, they work hard, day in, day out. They demonstrate great effort. They demonstrate great attitude and coachability. They show a positive viewpoint every day. They're enthusiastic about our program, about our sport, and about our team, and about their teammates. And it's important that they really be central to our culture on a day-to-day basis. These are the type of people who leave a legacy that helps our program continue to be successful. And on the women's side, our Mental Attitude Award winner for this year is Tori. And on the men's side, our Mental Attitude Award winner is Braden Styles. Well deserved. Thank you both. I just want to say a few words in closing, and I know our athletes have some awards to give. And I was looking forward to that part. But I think really important that we say thank you. First of all, thank you to our parents, our other coaches in this building, in my department, our athletic department, our athletic director. Everyone is just always amazed by the level of support we can get from our parents for our program. And we appreciate that, It's deserved. It's greatly appreciated on a daily basis. The sacrifices you make to have your athletes be part of our program, your student athletes be part of our program. So I thank all of our parents. Athletes, make sure you do that on a regular basis. To have this opportunity to be a part of this program is partly because of the parents you have. So don't forget to thank them on a regular basis. Our administration, our principal, Dr. Kendall, our athletic director, Mr. Creeline, and really even the superintendent across the street, Mr. Funston, have taken strong interest in our program and repeatedly demonstrate that they care about what we're able to do and that they support us. And it's not uncommon to have all three of them text me or call me after a good meet or after a not as good meet and let us know they support us. It's not always like that. It's not like that everywhere. I hear from peers who don't get that kind of support, and I'm truly thankful for the people we work for, and they live the life and they walk the walk and talk the talk. They do what they mean, and I appreciate that, and it's a pleasure to be able to work for people like that. So we're thankful for that. I think most importantly, I have to thank our assistant coaches. I was lucky to be recognized for some awards, and I always say, you know, it's really not about me, and I don't even, I won't say I don't like the awards, I do, because it recognizes our program, I hope, more than it recognizes me. And what I know is we have 4 assistant coaches who on a day-to-day basis perform at a high level, and who help our athletes get better, and who care about our program and the success that young men and young women were able to coach. And we wouldn't be here, we wouldn't be successful, and it is the best high school coaching staff around. Like, I wouldn't trade it. Certainly not for anybody nearby, and I don't know if there's anybody I would trade it for. So I want to thank our diving coaches who do a great job day in, day out, produce excellence year after year. It's not a coincidence, and it's not a fluke, and it's not a given. Not everyone achieves at the level our divers do, and year in, year out, we're successful at the conference meet, we're successful at the sectional meet, we're successful at the regional meet, and we get kids to state regularly. And they do a great job. And besides the fact that they know their stuff and coach at a very high level every day, they're great people for our young men and young women they coach. So thank you both. And then I have the pleasure to work day in, day out with 2 of the most talented coaches you could find. And, you know, I try to make sure they get the recognition they should, but I don't think they ever get the recognition I know they deserve. And this year has been harder for us in a lot of ways. The COVID situation increased our workload. We were shorthanded at the club level. They've worked harder than they've ever worked for our program. And it doesn't go unnoticed from me, and I hope it doesn't go unnoticed from everyone else. They're talented coaches, and day in, day out, they find a way for us to get better as a program. And it's just a joy and a pleasure, and more than anything, an honor to be able to coach with Kyle and with Nicole on a day-to-day basis. So thank you guys. And then I guess last, I always try to thank the athletes. It's sometimes maybe we think it's a given that people will show up and do what we ask to do. And I'll admit what we ask people to do is a little crazy. But to see the level of commitment that we're able to elicit from young men and young women. It just gives me, you hear about the media or people talk about how bad or how apathetic or whatever they may say in a critical manner about teenagers. And I just don't see it. I don't see it. I'm fortunate to deal with the best of the best and cream of the crop. But they don't all start that way, but they mostly finish that way. So I'm really proud of our athletes, and I want to thank you for your willingness to be a part of our program and to do what we ask. Thank you.
Ladies, you want to go first?
Okay, I'll start. Though she was injured half the season and was still in physical therapy, the award for most likely to walk on the bottom goes to Audrey Brennaman.
All right, for the diving ladies, for the lady, we have the most likely to belly flop award. And then for Riley Robinson, we have best in quotes half comeback season. Because she was injured, you know.
Okay, and so for the rest of the diving ladies, for Olivia, we have best at hiding from Dave and Tom in the pool. And then for Zoe, we have best at gossiping in the shower. Okay, so I have Ella, and Ella's was the always giggling award. Then my next award is Kieran, and she got the best TikToker award. And then my last one goes to Belle, and it's most likely to eat IHOP for every meal. Okay, for Elizabeth, I had most likely to have multiple boyfriends at once.
always sat on the bus together until COVID, and unless we could get a seat for ourselves. And then finally, I have the award for Grace. Future so bright, she has to wear pit vipers. Sunglasses. Okay, and then there's 3 girls that aren't here. So for Christine, Christine's not here, right? Okay. For Christine, we had most likely to meet all the Lances to put her speed suit on. For Emily, we had best excuses to miss practice. And for Bella, we had E-Girl.
So traditionally with these awards, they're usually presented by seniors. So this year, we made these things as negative, but we don't have any seniors. But I'm going to have the pleasure this next year to see all of my fellow teammates grow as people and individuals. It has certainly been a pleasure to be with them for all these years. So my first award is to go to Braden Styles, most likely to be with his girlfriend. Explain this next one, but it's Sir Caleb McDonald, and it's most likely to be getting a lecture, because no matter where you look, either from our teammates or by the coaches, it seems Caleb's always getting in trouble.
My next award, there's some backstory to this, and it is Caleb and Drew had a one-on-one basketball game for who would win. So I have least likely to win a basketball game, Drew Crow. I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't really come up with one for this, so I said most likely to go pro was Tommy Brunner. I don't know, I cheer all of us. Great success. This last one has a little bit of significance, and it is the smack cam, and it goes to Ethan Smith because he either hits the board or he does smack.
So I cannot wait to see this team grow my next year. And it is going to be so much fun once I'm gone to see their success in the pool and in the school. So, thank you for all for listening.
All right, thank you for your time. We appreciate everybody being here. Have a great night.
That was a good one, wasn't
Why did you say that?
You should have been down.
You know, I'm saving this. I'm gonna frame it.
Katie Brennaman.
This is kind of dull.
Somebody said my name.
Just using your imagination.
Come on, Tommy. Tommy, get on the floor, buddy. It's gotta be you. Come on. It's gotta be you.
I'm going to smile.
Yeah, actually.
You're welcome. Thank you. Good job, girls.
Yeah, me too. Do you just want to stand here? Doesn't look like okay, Ethan. Wait, we should go before the wall.
Now we're in it.
See ya. Oh my God.